Hey everyone, this is a simple dinner that you can make quite affordable as long as you happen to find the stuff on sale to make it. You'll see that the pork shoulder I picked up was only $13 and weighed over 7 pounds. I had a coffee spice rub in the cupboard, but you can use a handful of different spices to create your own rub. It doesn't need to be a pre-made rub by any means. I just happened to get that one for Christmas. Now, what you want to do is cut pretty deep slits into the skin of the pork. As you can see, I do go through the fat into the meat itself. Since we're doing this as a pulled pork, it doesn't need to crisp the outer skin or anything like that. I actually end up at the end taking all of the scraps, including the skin and everything, the jus that it makes, and it gets turned into a soup. Now with this one, I did leave the bone in. If you're comfortable, I do recommend removing the bone. If you happen to remove the bone, it makes it so that you can cook it in probably about half the time. And then all you want to do is take the rub that you've made, or your pre-made one, and rub it into all the cracks. I add extra MSG on top. Now, the reason I squeeze the lime onto there is I find that it just breaks down that layer a little bit better, as well as it gives you a little bit more for the rub to stick to. Now, for some reason, I could not find a roasting pan or even one of my cake pans, so I ended up just taking out the old cast iron wok. It does the same thing. You just want to add a little bit of water to that wok as well prior to putting it in the oven. I didn't show that on camera, and that's my bad. I did add a bunch of extra salt here, though, for seasoning. It takes a lot to season this, so don't be scared to go a little heavy-handed on it. And again, the size of the pan you use is kind of dictated by the size of pork shoulder you get. Often you'll find boneless ones that are a little bit, quite a bit smaller than this. And you can get away with using a small cake pan, even in some cases using a loaf pan. The process is the same though on all of it. Bake until tender at roughly 325 Fahrenheit. No exact time though. Once you pull it out of the oven here, I sped this part up because there's no point in showing you all of it. I did take all the skin and all the fat layer off the top there. With that, you might not think it, but I actually keep that and I do throw it in to the soup I make. Now, I skipped the part of taking it off the bone because there's no point in giving you 15 minutes of me shredding meat. But you can see it came out quite tender. It is glistening. I still end up adding some of the jus from the pan back into it here. And anything that you find that's not good for your pulled pork, throw it in that pot for soup. Now, you'll end up seeing me mashing it around quite a bit with my hands, especially once I start adding the jus back into it. A lot of this is basically just to make sure that I didn't miss any cartilage, any major fat nuggets, or anything like that. And here's where you see that I'm adding in some juice again. And all I do is I just kind of massage it in lightly. And while I'm doing that, I'm kind of feeling around to see if I find any pieces of bone, any cartilage, or anything like that. And all you need other than the pork shoulder for this to make some good pulled pork sliders is a tray of dinner rolls that you would get from the grocery store, and whatever barbecue sauce you want or sauces. The other nice thing is that since I don't season it specifically a certain way, you can readapt this to other dishes. So your leftovers will go a lot further this way. Whereas if you pre-barbecue sauce it, you're kind of stuck with barbecued pork. As you can see, it's all glistening, it's moist, and it just pulls right apart. Plating it up, so simple again. This is one of those things where you get a bagged salad or something like that to go with it, or a thing of coleslaw, and make yourself some sliders. And the nice thing about this too is if you do it a similar method to how I have, where you just take a baking sheet and shred it out on there, you can toss that sheet on the table and everybody in the family can just grab, which makes it kind of nice. But this is actually how simple it is. Something delicious, and honestly, for probably less than $20, you can do the whole meal. I had some peach jerk ketchup sauce stuff that I got for Christmas as well. It is amazing. Unfortunately, the lid kind of clogged on it, so I had to just kind of open it up and go for it. Nice thing as well with this is all the leftover scraps that you have. That soup is also good for probably 2 or 3 full meals, because you're not going to get everything off the bone if you do it with a bone-in style. But there you have it. I do hope you enjoyed the video. If you've got any ideas for future videos, let me know and I'll try and simplify things for you. Otherwise, I hope you have yourselves a wonderful day. Thank you so much for watching.